see how do we actually tackle those thoughts that cause us not to overcome, that cause us to have self-doubt. So, Bridget, I'm going to let you take the floor, take over, and lead us, teach us, show us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rika Jeko, and thank you everyone for this opportunity to be able to take you through a unique process, which I find I use for myself. But I'm glad that I have the opportunity to share it with you guys and everybody else in using it. So this technique is just what we call a mind reframing or thought reframing technique that allows you to reframe your thinking. So as long as you have a mind, you will experience negative thoughts. You will experience thoughts that are limiting. You'll experience thoughts that you don't like. You'll experience thoughts that make you feel a certain negative way. We call them negative, but really they're just thoughts that we perceive as negative. And what the idea here is to learn to free yourself. We are all free because we are free beings in Christ. We are free. But
Amen.
there are things that limit us. And that's part of what is in our mind can limit our freedom. So all we're doing here is reclaiming that freedom. You're not doing anything different. It's just reclaiming and allowing your freedom. That's all. So this is a technique that allows you to do that. So what Rachel and I have done already is we've identified a thought that has been limiting you, Rachel, in business. And that thought is, I'll be judged negatively. So we thought about how it is for you when you're thinking about doing things like this, showing yourself and speaking up and really presenting yourself in business. The thought that comes up is, I will be judged negatively. And what you told me is that it makes you feel panicky, and you rated that level of panic at 90%. So we've got that so far. And some of the other thoughts that came with that belief, that the belief is I will be judged negatively. But some of the thoughts that came with that will be, I'm a teacher, so I should show myself as confident. I can't afford to mess up. So those are just additional, that support and reinforce that belief.
Negative thoughts.
So what we want to do is we want to now undo or teach you how to detach yourself so that you can experience the thought, but don't have to believe it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to go with it. You can choose. The freedom that we have in Christ is the freedom to choose.
Amen.
If you can't choose your thoughts, you're not free.
Yeah.
It means you're bound to that one. It has a hold on you. Now we want to turn it around so you have a hold on it and you decide what to do with it. It doesn't tell you what to do. You tell it, no, I don't believe you. So that's what we want. We want you to take back your position of authority over your own thoughts. So now what we're going to do with this thought is I'm going to ask you some questions. And the idea is I need to know what is giving you evidence, Rachel. What are you using as evidence to confirm that you will be judged negatively?
That's a hard one. To be honest,
Go on.
I don't actually have any evidence, but I think, it's just that, it's just at the back of my mind. I don't know why I think that way, but I just,
Let me help you
I
out.
don't have any evidence. I think it's just, it's one of those things that,
Let me help you
maybe.
out, Rachel. Let me help
Pardon?
you out because I think there is evidence. The fact, if you believe something, it means something has been confirming that for you over and over and over. Yeah. So it may be in childhood, it may be wherever. It doesn't matter. So I want to think of the times when, so have you experienced stuff in the past where people did say negative things when you stood up to show yourself? Or maybe you were told you stood up in class and you said something and people laughed, or anything that confirms. So allow yourself to allow those images of whatever comes up in your mind. And that's what we'll use. The other thing that we'll use as evidence is you said, I cannot afford to mess. So it's a thought. You have other thoughts that say, I cannot afford. So I think I cannot afford to mess up. Is that right? So I think I cannot afford to mess up. What else do you think? If I mess up, what will happen?
Well, I think, people are going to laugh at me. They're going to talk about me.
So I think people will laugh at me. I think people will talk about me. Have you ever had this happen before?
Yes.
Okay. So in the past, people have laughed at you. You've had experiences where people have laughed at you.
Not laugh as such, but like talk.
Mm-hmm. So I have experienced in the past
Hmm.
people talking about me. And have you messed up in the past, Rachel? Are there any experiences where you have messed up in the past?
I actually used to have very high self-confidence.
Okay.
And I think how it actually happened was I came across, well, I was working, back then I was working in a very remote area, and
Mm-hmm.
I had my head of department who was quite, I would like to say, not very accommodating of
Mm-hmm.
people that were different. And she made it a point to actually make my life a living hell.
Okay.
And one of the things that happened, so this one time, I'd actually lost my auntie,
Mm.
and I went into school, obviously, and as my head of department, I had to let her know what had happened. And she
Mm.
said to me, "Why are you here?" And I was
Mm.
like, "Well, I'm here because we've got so much work that I need to cover with the kids, blah blah blah."
Mm.
And
Mm.
then she said, "Well, I'm gonna come in." So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, cool, no worries." But I thought she was coming in for support. I didn't
Mm.
realize she was coming in to actually judge my state of mind and my like the way I was gonna teach that day.
Mm.
So it was only until after the lesson that she said to me, "Well, I could tell you didn't know what you were doing."
Mm.
And that really um, that really put me down.
Yeah.
And I think I started doubting myself. Now we're talking of someone that is won awards,
Mm.
for being the best educator in the state and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, I
Okay.
crumbled.
All right.
And I think that was enough to just swash my confidence. And
Mm.
I'm so sorry, but I'm being
That's
very
okay.
vulnerable here.
Yeah.
It
Mm,
was
I,
enough.
yeah. That's okay. And thank you for willing to be
being
vulnerable
to be
and
vulnerable.
open. I really appreciate
Well
your
done.
openness.
Hey, Rachel, you're
Take some
doing
deep
good.
breaths, Rachel. This is the
You're doing
process.
good.
This is so part of setting yourself free means you allow yourself to revisit the wounds.
Mm,
Yeah. So it sounds like you've had some wounds about that. And it sounds that
mm,
that experience really limited your confidence. It
mm,
didn't take it away.
Yeah.
It
mm,
just allowed you to shut it up. Yeah. It
mm,
became like a fortress around your confidence. You still have confidence,
mm,
but this
mm.
thing allowed a fortress to be built around it. So what we're doing today is part of the process of breaking that
Breaking
hold.
down that fortress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you have confidence.
Hmm.
You never lost it.
Hmm.
Okay. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and
Thank
open.
you.
Your
And
vulnerability is
well
going to help
done.
many people. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Well
done.
done.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well done.
I'm
Well
so
So,
done.
sorry.
so what you said to me is that you've experienced negative feedback and being judged negatively by a figure of authority. That
Mm-hmm.
means a big deal to us.
Mm.
When someone in authority judges us negatively, we take it really strongly. And so it makes sense why you feel the way you feel and what
Mm.
happened and the knock that it took on you, because I'm sure you looked up to that person. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes absolute sense.
Mm.
So I acknowledge that I have experienced. So I have experienced. Again, it's an experience. It's not who you are. It's an experience you've had. So I've experienced where my high confidence uh, was negatively affected by a figure of authority who judged me negatively in the past. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else, Rachel, that you feel is evidence, or is this enough? Yeah, this is enough. I've lost you. I can't hear you.
To be honest, I think that's the only thing I could.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That
And
was the
well
big deal.
done. Well done. You
Well
brought it
done.
out.
Yeah.
It's got no
Thank
power
you.
over you. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna work on it now, so it doesn't have power over you. So, okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take all this evidence. So what we're doing is we're taking this thought, this belief to court. We question it because the problem is many of us believe this stuff. You see, we experience things and then we start believing it. And when we believe something, that means we give it power. Belief in something is you taking your power that you have to believe. You have the power to believe or not believe. But when you believe in something, you give it authority, you give it power in your life, you allow it. That thing has no power in itself. Everything that experiences, memories, whatever, they are innate. It means that they are nothing. They're just a thing. But the minute you give it your attention, your power, your belief, it has power because you are the one who has power. Does that make sense? Brilliant. Okay, so we're gonna judge this now. We're gonna put this to court. So just because you think that you cannot afford to mess up, is this evidence, or does this mean that you will be judged? So just because you have this thought that, oh, I can't mess up, is this evidence in itself that you will definitely be judged?
So is this evidence that I will be
That
judged?
you will definitely be judged. So having a thought like, I can't mess up, that means, so let's put me in that or maybe your child. What do you have, a son or daughter?
A son. I've got two
Okay.
sons.
So let's say your son comes and says, Mom, I have this thought that says, I've been thinking that I'll be judged by these people. So because I think I have this, no, I have this thought that I will mess up. Sorry, I can't afford to mess up. So because I have the thought that I can't mess up, that means they'll judge me. Because I think that they will definitely judge me. What would you say to your son?
I would tell him that I don't think anyone is gonna judge you.
Yeah.
I
Why?
think no, because there is no evidence that people are gonna judge you.
Exactly.
It's just a
You've,
thought in your
Ed,
head.
you've explained that so beautifully. So
Yeah.
exactly. Now let's apply that to you. You can see it very clearly for your son. Now
Yeah.
let's apply it to you. So, Rachel, just because you've been thinking, I can't afford to mess up, is this evidence that you will be judged?
No.
Yeah, well done. Absolutely, there is no
Well
evidence.
done, well done.
Okay,
Wow.
next one. Just because I
Wow.
think people will laugh at me. So your son comes again and says, Mom, I think people will laugh at me. That means that they're going to judge me, Mom. I really think people will laugh at me. I'm going to be judged. I can't do it. I'm going to be judged. What would you say to your son?
I would say no, I don't think people are gonna judge you. I think you need to give it a go. Because people are not gonna judge you, and even if they do, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like it's their own opinion. That's not your opinion. So what matters is what you think, not what they think.
Wow. I'm glad we're recording this because then you can play this and hear yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You hear what you've just said.
Good job.
You are erasing that stuff. What you're saying is no, there's no evidence that you're going to be judged. And even if they do, even if they are just expressing their own thoughts, their own opinions. And just we are learning here you don't have to believe your own negative thoughts. What about other people's negative thoughts? Do you have to believe theirs too?
That's
No.
right.
No, you don't have to. So you're right. There's no evidence that and even if you do get judged, it's someone else's opinion. That's their problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Next one. I
It
think
was
people
their
will
problem.
talk
I love
about me.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, go on. Sorry, Rujeko. What were you saying?
Oh, no, just when you said it's their problem. I love that. I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
It
I
makes me
like
feel free.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
love
that's
what you
true.
just said.
Yeah.
One of the biggest truths that we must recognize, we all experience negative thoughts, even the highest people and the lowest. And many people will express their negative thoughts. And if you tend to believe your own, you will tend to believe other people's. So part of it is learning to not have to engage in your own negative thoughts. Because when you hear negative thoughts from outside, then you have a choice. It's just that person expressing their negativity. I don't have to take that on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we can free ourselves from people's issues.
Issues.
Yeah.
Hmm.
100%.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just because I think people will talk about me, have we done that one? No, we did the laughing. Just because I think people will talk about me, is this evidence? So you having this thought in your mind that I think people will talk about me, is this evidence in itself, or does it mean that you will be judged negatively?
No.
What is
No.
it evidence of, Rachel?
It's not evidence.
Exactly. It's not evidence of anything. It's just a thought.
It's just a thought.
Exactly. Well done. It's just a thought.
Mm.
Next one. Just because I've had experiences in the past where people have talked about me. Now that's a fact. It's a fact that the people have talked about you in the past. But just because that's happened in the past, let's come back to your son, because this one can be tricky for some people. Your son comes and says, Mom, I have to do this play now. And last year people were talking about me. I don't want to do this play now because people will talk about me again. So I don't want to, because people are going to judge me again. What would you say to your son?
I would say, no, you need to, if you really want to go do the play, you should go do the play, because what they think at the end of the day doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
People are always going to talk, and it's okay. Like you can't control what they think or what they say. So you need to just go ahead and go and enjoy the play. You need to be a part of the play. You go ahead and and be a part of the play. It doesn't matter what they're going to talk about after you've done the play. You just go and do your best.
Okay. I love that. So now let's apply that to you, and we're going to add a little bit more. So what you said, that's really empowering. So you're saying to your son, go and do it. Go and do it. Don't worry about what people are going to say. So the thing is, just because you've had a previous experience, do previous experiences mean definitely that is going to happen again? Is that evidence that that will happen again?
No.
And that's what we have to remind our children, even our children and ourselves, because many of us get hung up about previous experiences. It's a fact that you've had that experience, but is it a fact that it's going to happen again?
No.
No, you have no control over what happens again or not. And even if it does happen again, what does that mean? Does it mean anything?
No.
No, it doesn't mean anything. It just means it happened. Like you get a cold today, you get a cold next month. Does it mean anything? No, it just means I got a cold. Someone talks about you last year. Someone talks about you. What does it mean? It just means someone talked about me.
Yeah.
But what you have been doing is you're making it mean something about you. Someone talks about me. That means I am someone who will be judged. That becomes part of your identity, that people can't help but judge me. I'm that person that attracts judgment all the time.
Take it as your
This is the way I go.
That's powerful. You take it as your own identity.
It happened to you because you're a human being. That's what happens to human beings.
It's not your
But
identity.
why are you making it your identity?
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
just because you think people will talk about you.
Yeah.
No, just because you've had that experience in the past, is this evidence that you definitely will be judged? No. Wonderful. Okay, the last one now, the big one. So just because in the past you've experienced a figure of authority being negative with you and judgmental with you, where she judged you harshly and negatively, just because you've had an experience of a figure of authority who did that. Is this evidence, or does this mean that you will be judged?
Nope. No.
What is it evidence of, Rachel?
It is evidence of her own insecurities.
Okay. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Yeah. That she was trying to show whatever it is. That's her issue. Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. But also, does it mean anything about your life, about you?
No, it was just a situation
Mhm.
that I was judged on, but it doesn't apply to every situation.
Okay.
Beautiful. That's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Hmm.
It's an
Hmm.
so you are saying that I was judged in this situation,
Mm,
but that doesn't mean the rest of my life is judged.
mm,
She put a judgment of what I was doing. She was
mm,
judging your performance
mm,
in this experience. Yeah. But does that mean you are a judged human being?
Hmm.
mm. No.
That your identity is Rachel the judged?
And it's already declared and it's already made certain.
Yeah? That
Yes.
wherever I go, I have a label on my forehead, the judged one.
Yeah. It's good we can see, we can actually laugh about it today, But it really brings wow,
Wow.
wow.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. So this is how powerful you had held on to that belief of being
mm.
judged. So Rachel, now have we found any evidence that you will be judged?
No.
Nothing. We've looked and we've changed. There's nothing. There's no evidence. Is it fair to say then that it's not true that you will be judged?
Yes,
Hmm.
100%.
Oh, wonderful. It's not
Yeah.
true that I will be judged.
Yeah.
So now let's find some factual evidence that tells us it's not true that you will be
Mm.
judged. Have you had experiences, Rachel, where you shared stuff and people have actually, enjoyed and embraced and be blessed and encouraged and empowered by what you opening up and sharing?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And in your
Yes.
business, have you had experiences like that?
Yes. I
Okay.
have. Yep.
Okay. So give me examples. Give me examples where people have actually been, give me examples.
So I'll talk about the recent one. I think
Mhm.
about 3, 4 days ago, we did
Yeah.
a live with
Mm-hmm.
everyone, and I was hosting, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone actually said to me, "Wow, that was amazing." So
Wow.
yes, I have that's my evidence right there.
Wow. Okay. So I have done live events
Yep.
and people have commented positively about my
Mm-hmm.
performance.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel, are there any areas of your as a teacher where people have celebrated your performance as a teacher that you are, have commented on how good you are as a teacher?
100%.
Yeah?
Yes. So
Oh,
I have
Okay.
moved on from whoop whoop,
Mm,
and I'm now obviously in civilization where
yeah.
everyone really embraces diversity. And
Yeah.
I'm at a beautiful school where I'm actually celebrated for being who I am.
Yeah.
And just last week, I got a phone call from my principal saying, because I was on contract, so they were saying, oh, would love to give you an opportunity, to stay with us, for another year because we've had beautiful, beautiful things and would love to keep you on board. And yeah,
Wow. So your principal has asked you to stay
yeah,
permanently.
yeah.
Wow.
thank
Awesome. So we've got evidence here.
you.
We've
Yeah.
got real evidence that
Mm,
this idea, this percept, it's not true that you're going to be
mm,
judged
mm,
negatively because
mm,
you've done lives and people have commented positively. They have, you've received positive comments from lives.
mm,
You're at a school now where you're celebrated and the principal has asked you to stay permanently. Awesome.
mm,
So now let's reframe that, this idea of I will be judged. So
mm,
here we go. So you had been thinking of showing yourself in business, but you were experiencing the thought that I will be judged.
mm,
Is that right?
mhm, mhm,
And this thought made you feel uh, panicky.
mm,
Mhm. Because you believed people will judge me negatively. I will be judged negatively. That's
mhm,
the reason why you felt panicky is because you were believing this. It's not because of what the experiences you've had. No, it's because you latched onto the belief that this is what's going to happen to me.
You latched on. That's
Yeah.
powerful. You latched
So
on to the belief.
yes, you latched onto it.
Did. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
I did.
So I will be judged negatively. But now you realize that this is not true. Is that right?
Yep.
But I now realize this is not true because, let's confirm why it's not true. Because I've done lives and people have commented positively. And I'm at a school where my principal has asked me to, they celebrate me and my principal has asked me to stay on permanently. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So Rachel, now that you realize that this whole idea of I'll be judged negatively was just an idea you had. It's a belief that you were playing around with and feeding in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that's what was causing the panic.
Mm.
So now you know that when you go live, when you do things, you don't have to believe. You don't have to take that belief with you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how panicky do you feel now? If we rate that
Not
out
at
of
all.
out of 100, how panicky do you feel now?
Not even. Zero.
0.
0%.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And then
0%.
you do look a bit more relaxed than
Yes.
you do look relieved, actually. Yeah.
Well done,
Thank
Rachel.
you.
This is
Thank
what it
you.
means to set yourself free.
Wow.
You broke that limitation.
Thank you.
Well done. How did you find that experience?
Very, very liberating is the
Mm-hmm.
word. Thank you so much. I have, yeah, nah, thank you. And I think just letting it all out as well, that was actually really good because I didn't even know the
Yeah.
reason behind my fears and, yeah, and my
Yeah.
worries as well. So
Yeah.
thank you for helping me address
Tackling
those
those
fears and
thoughts.
tackling those thoughts. Yes.
You're very, very welcome. It's my pleasure and an honor to take you through the process. It's an absolute honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bridget.
That's it, Rebecca. We're done.
Wow,
Thank you.
amazing, amazing. I guess just to round off, Bridget, can you put some sense into it for people who didn't watch our first yesterday, overcoming self-doubt?
Okay.
Perhaps let's give this a close into addressing, those people and encouraging them and inspiring them,
Yeah.
how they can overcome their thoughts of self-doubt to start their own thing, to be
Yeah.
an entrepreneur.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, if you are experiencing being stuck in any way, it's important to understand as long as you have a mind, you are going to experience thoughts in that mind. And your thoughts, thoughts are naturally actually neutral, but the way we perceive them can be negative. So, what keeps you stuck is your perception, your experience of a thought. So, you have a thought that says, I am not enough. You don't have to believe it, but if you believe it, it will play out in your life. You will see it manifesting in your life as, whatever, whether I can't do that job because I'm not enough. I can't do this business. I'm not enough. I will never be an entrepreneur. I mean, I don't know how these people do it because I am not enough. That is just your thought playing out. That's why the word of God says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Powerful.
This is what
Amen.
we've just done today. We've renewed the mind. And look how
Yes.
free you are. Because I told you already from the beginning, we are free. The God who created us made us free. But because we experience things and we have a mind, we perceive, we think, we can think negatively. We have the capacity to do that. But we can also think positively. Now, the one thing that doesn't work for people is when you try to just be positive without dealing with the negativity. The negativity will eat you up because you're not willing to transform it. You're not willing to take it and, transform it and literally change it into positive. Many people want to hide the negativity and push it aside and block it up. No,
And work out on what we have at that time and be
Exactly.
comfortable with it.
Yes. And then you wonder,
Yeah.
why am I still stuck? I'm being positive. No, be positive, but deal with the negative. Face it, address it, and do it. Untie it. Free yourself from it totally. Yeah. So if you've been feeling stuck, it's an experience you're having. It's not you. It's not your identity. This I'm not enough is not, you've made it your identity. Is not. It's just an experience. Maybe there were experiences where you were not, as a child, you're not going to be enough in certain things. I'm not clever enough, or I have not got enough life experience. That's a fact. But does that mean I'm not enough? No. It just means I don't have enough life experience to make these adult decisions, whatever. So we take those experiences, now you make it an identity. No. It's just an experience. Your limitation is just an experience. And you can break free with the right insight, just like what we're doing today, the right transformational tools, and the right support. You can break free from your limitation.
Thank you.
And you can go on and create that freedom and success that you want to. So the opportunity is there. If you want to do business, I would suggest that do business and be willing to grow. Get people that can help you to grow out of. This is what we're doing today. Help Rachel to grow out of. So this is growth for you. So now you can take more steps forward and take more steps forward.
Yeah.
The barrier.
Be the leader that you are.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Let me go live tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Please go and explode the internet with more lives. Because you're free to do so. You see how a lot of the times people want to do business, but they don't understand you. It's a process of growth. Whatever you do, whether it's your parenting, whether you are in business, whether you are in a profession, you must grow. You have to grow. Yeah, and grow internally, grow in your thinking, grow in your. But when we don't address negative thoughts, we don't grow. They limit us. So we must be willing to break free from those thoughts and continue to grow and continue to grow and continue to grow.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you
With
very
that,
much.
I
Thank
want
you,
us
ladies.
to end our live. And this is how we're going to end the show today, in a bit of a different way. I'm going to leave this for our audience.
You are not what other people call you. You are not even what you've called yourself. Only the one who created you has the right and the authority to identify you. You are not defined by your past. You are not defined by your behaviors. You are not defined by your failures. You are not defined by your struggles. You are not defined by your feelings. You are not defined by your circumstances. You are not defined by the here today, gone tomorrow, false ideologies and watered down philosophies of our current culture. You are who God says you are. It don't matter what other folks have been calling you.